Who done it? Murder at the 47th floor. At exactly 9:17, on a Friday night, billionaire tech entrepreneur Marcus Vale sent a text message to 6 people. It contained only 7 words. Come upstairs. I know who betrayed me. 23 minutes later, Marcus Vale was dead, and one of the 6 people who received that message killed him. The question is, who done it? Listen carefully. Every clue you need to solve the murder is hidden somewhere in this story. 9:00 p.m. The party. The rain had been falling over downtown Chicago since sunset. 47 floors above the city, Marcus Vale was throwing a private party inside his penthouse. Marcus was 46 years old, charismatic, ruthless, and extremely rich. 12 years earlier, he had founded Vault, a cybersecurity company that had grown into a multi-billion-dollar business. But lately, Vault had been in trouble. Money was disappearing. Confidential company information had been leaked, and someone inside Marcus's inner circle had apparently been selling information to a competitor. Marcus had spent weeks quietly investigating. Tonight, he planned to expose the traitor. Only 6 people at the party had access to the information that had been stolen. Elena Vale, Marcus's wife. Daniel Cross, his business partner. Priya Shah, Vault's chief financial officer. Noah Bennett, Marcus's personal assistant. Sophie Reed, an investigative journalist and Marcus's former girlfriend. And Victor Lane, Marcus's head of security. 6 suspects. All 6 had reasons to fear Marcus, and at least 3 of them had reasons to want him dead. 9:12 p.m., Marcus stepped away from the party and entered his private office. The office was at the end of a hallway overlooking the city. There was only one normal entrance, a heavy walnut door equipped with an electronic lock. Inside the office was Marcus's desk, a small bar, 2 chairs, several bookshelves, and a private balcony. Because of the storm, the balcony doors were closed. Marcus poured himself a glass of sparkling water. Then he opened his laptop. 3 minutes later, he discovered something. Something important. Security records would later show that Marcus downloaded a file onto a small silver USB drive. At 9:17, he sent the same text to all 6 suspects. Come upstairs. I know who betrayed me. Then he waited. 9:20 p.m. Daniel Cross was the first person to go upstairs. Daniel had built Vault with Marcus, but their friendship had deteriorated. Marcus had recently discovered that Daniel was negotiating with investors behind his back. Several guests heard the 2 men arguing earlier that evening. One guest heard Marcus say, "You won't be part of this company much longer." Daniel admitted going upstairs. He said he entered Marcus's office at approximately 9:20. Marcus was alive. They argued for about 2 minutes. Daniel claimed Marcus accused him of leaking company information. Daniel denied it, then Daniel left. Security footage confirmed Daniel walking back into the main party area at 9:23. That gave him a motive, but did he have the opportunity? 9:24 p.m. Elena, Marcus's wife, Elena, went upstairs next. Their marriage was collapsing. 3 days earlier, Marcus had told his attorney to prepare divorce papers. Elena didn't know everything about the proposed settlement, but she knew enough to understand one thing. If Marcus divorced her, she would receive considerably less money than if he died while they were still married. Elena told police she reached the office at 9:24, but she never entered. According to Elena, the door was locked. She knocked. Marcus shouted from inside, "Not now, Elena." Angry, she returned downstairs. A hallway camera showed Elena returning to the party at 9:26. But there was a problem. There was no camera directly outside Marcus's office, so investigators could prove Elena walked upstairs. They could prove she came downstairs. They could not prove she never entered the office. 9:27 p.m. Priya Shah, received Marcus's message while standing near the kitchen. She looked visibly nervous. One guest remembered asking if she was okay. Priya reportedly answered, "Marcus thinks somebody stole from him." At 9:27, Priya walked upstairs. She returned less than 2 minutes later. She told police that Marcus was alive when she saw him. According to Priya, Marcus was sitting behind his desk holding a silver USB drive. He asked her about several suspicious company transactions. Priya explained them. Then she left. But investigators discovered something uncomfortable. Priya had recently authorized 3 payments totaling nearly $800,000. All 3 payments went to consulting companies that appeared to exist only on paper. Priya claimed Marcus had approved them. There was no documentation proving that. 9:30 p.m. Noah. At 9:30, Marcus's assistant, Noah Bennett, walked upstairs. Noah had worked for Marcus for 5 years. He knew Marcus's passwords. He knew his schedule. He knew where important documents were stored. And he knew something else. Marcus planned to fire him Monday morning. Noah told investigators he entered the office and found Marcus furious. Marcus demanded to know who had accessed his laptop earlier that week. Noah said he didn't know. Marcus then supposedly told him, "Go downstairs. I'll deal with you Monday." Noah returned to the party at 9:33. Several guests saw him. He immediately ordered a drink. 9:34 p.m. Sophie. At 9:34, Sophie Reed headed upstairs. Sophie was different from the others. She didn't work for Vault. She was an investigative journalist. Years earlier, she and Marcus had been romantically involved. Sophie had recently begun investigating allegations that Vault illegally collected private customer data. If the story was true, it could destroy Marcus's company. Marcus had repeatedly pressured Sophie to abandon the investigation. She refused. Sophie said Marcus was alive when she entered the office. But something strange happened during their conversation. Marcus suddenly became distracted. He looked toward the hallway and said, "Someone is coming back." Sophie asked who. Marcus didn't answer. Instead, he took the silver USB drive and placed it inside his desk drawer. Sophie left at approximately 9:37. She said Marcus locked the door behind her. 9:38 p.m. Victor. The last person to respond to Marcus's message was Victor Lane, head of security. Victor had controlled security at Vault for almost 8 years. Every electronic door, every employee access card, every security camera. Marcus trusted him completely, or at least he used to. Victor told investigators he walked upstairs at 9:38. He knocked. There was no answer. He tried the door, locked. Victor said he assumed Marcus was speaking privately with someone and returned downstairs. But Victor never mentioned hearing voices. And unlike Elena, he claimed Marcus didn't answer him. That detail would become important. 9:41 p.m. The lights flickered. Then the entire penthouse went dark. Guests screamed. Music stopped. For approximately 28 seconds, the apartment had no normal electricity. Emergency lights activated in the hallways. Then, the main power returned. Victor immediately announced that the building's backup systems had worked normally. The outage appeared to have been caused by the storm. At least, that's what everyone believed. 9:44 p.m. Sophie noticed Marcus still hadn't returned to the party. She told Elena. Elena rolled her eyes. He's probably hiding in his office. But Sophie was concerned. Marcus had told 6 people he knew who betrayed him. Why summon everyone and then disappear? Sophie, Elena, Daniel, and Victor went upstairs together. They reached Marcus's office. The door was locked. Victor knocked. No response. He entered his security code. The door opened. Marcus Vale was lying beside his desk, dead. The crime scene. Marcus had been struck once in the back of the head with a heavy crystal award from his bookshelf. There was no sign of a struggle. The balcony doors were locked from inside. The office windows could not open. The electronic door had automatically locked when it closed. There appeared to be only one way in or out, through the hallway. The silver USB drive was missing, but Marcus's phone remained on the desk. His wallet was untouched. His expensive watch was still on his wrist. This wasn't robbery. Someone wanted Marcus dead, and someone wanted whatever was on that USB drive. The first clue. Police examined Marcus's smartwatch. It recorded his heartbeat continuously. Marcus's heart rate suddenly spiked at 9:39 p.m. Seconds later, it stopped. The medical examiner estimated Marcus was attacked at approximately that time. That immediately created a problem. According to everyone's story, no suspect was inside the office at 9:39. Sophie had left around 9:37. Victor claimed he found the door locked at 9:38. The blackout didn't occur until 9:41. So how did someone enter a locked office, kill Marcus, take the USB drive, and leave without being seen? The second clue, investigators examined the electronic lock. Every time the office door opened, the system recorded the event. The records showed 9:20, Daniel entered. 9:24, Elena attempted access. 9:27, Priya entered. 9:30, Noah entered. 9:34, Sophie entered. Then nothing. No entry at 9:38. No entry at 9:39. No entry during the blackout. The next recorded entry occurred at 9:45 when Victor opened the door and discovered the body. It looked impossible until a detective asked a simple question. Could someone erase an entry? The building technician said yes, but only someone with administrator-level access to the security system could alter the records. Victor had administrator access. So did Marcus. And surprisingly, so did Noah. Marcus's assistant had been given emergency administrative access 2 years earlier. Now, there were two obvious suspects. The third clue, police searched everyone. The missing USB drive wasn't found. They searched the penthouse. Nothing. Then a detective examined the kitchen trash. Inside was a broken champagne glass. Nothing unusual, except there was a tiny streak of blood on one piece. DNA testing later identified the blood. It belonged to Noah. Noah admitted cutting his finger earlier that evening. Several witnesses confirmed it. A dead end. Then investigators searched Daniel's coat. Inside the pocket was a handwritten note. 9:20. Office. Come alone. Daniel claimed Marcus had given it to him earlier. Again, suspicious, but not proof of murder. The fourth clue. Then investigators found something important. Marcus's office had a voice assistant. At 9:38:46, the system recorded Marcus saying, "Lock the door." At 9:38:51, the electronic door locked. 8 seconds later, Marcus said, "What are you doing?" Then came a loud crash. Marcus was attacked. This meant the killer was already inside the office when Marcus ordered the door locked. But who? Victor said he knocked at 9:38 and received no response. If that was true, Marcus was alive inside, and someone else was with him. But every other suspect appeared to be downstairs. The final clue. Detectives returned to the security footage. They watched Daniel, then Elena, Priya, Noah, Sophie, Victor, again and again, until one detective noticed something. At 9:37, Sophie appeared on camera, returning downstairs. At 9:38, Victor walked toward the staircase. But Victor didn't appear on the upstairs hallway camera. He explained that the hallway camera had briefly malfunctioned. Investigators checked the system. The camera had not malfunctioned. It had been manually disabled at 9:37:52 by an administrator, then restored at 9:40:11, just before Victor returned downstairs. And remember, Victor controlled the security system. But that wasn't the clue that proved everything. The real mistake was something Victor said after the blackout. When guests asked what had happened, Victor told them. The storm knocked out the main power, but the office locks stayed secure. How did Victor know Marcus's office door remained locked during the blackout? Nobody had checked it yet. More importantly, investigators discovered the electronic lock had its own battery. The blackout wouldn't erase its records, so the killer needed another way to hide his entry. Someone had manually disabled the hallway camera. Someone had entered Marcus's office before 9:39. Someone had deleted the electronic record. Someone had enough knowledge of the building's security system to know exactly how to do all three. But there was still one question. Where was the USB drive? Detectives searched Victor's clothing. Nothing. His security office. Nothing. His car. Nothing. Then Sophie remembered something. When Victor opened Marcus's office at 9:45, he had immediately walked toward the desk. He said he was checking Marcus's pulse, but Marcus was lying on the opposite side. Victor had reached the desk first. Police removed the bottom drawer. Behind it, taped against the interior panel, they found the silver USB drive. Victor had hidden it inside the office after returning with the group. He planned to retrieve it later. Now investigators believe they knew exactly what happened. Who done it? This is your chance to solve the case. Think about the timeline. Think about the locked office. Think about the deleted electronic record. Think about the disabled camera. And most importantly, think about what the killer knew that nobody else should have known. Who killed Marcus Vale? Pause here before hearing the answer. Make your guess. Daniel, Elena, Priya, Noah, Sophie, or Victor. 3, 2, 1. The solution. Victor Lane killed Marcus Vale. Marcus had discovered that Victor was selling confidential security information to one of Vault's competitors. The USB drive contained evidence. Victor knew Marcus had discovered the betrayal when he received the text. But unlike the others, Victor controlled the building's security system. At approximately 9:38, Victor disabled the upstairs hallway camera. He entered Marcus's office using his security credentials. Then he deleted the electronic record of his entry. Marcus apparently realized something was wrong. He ordered the office door locked. That was captured by the voice assistant. Seconds later, Marcus confronted Victor. "What are you doing?" Victor grabbed the crystal award and struck him. He took the USB drive. But he had a problem. If he walked downstairs carrying it, there was a chance someone would see him. So Victor temporarily concealed the drive. He restored the hallway camera and returned downstairs. The storm caused the blackout 2 minutes later. That was pure coincidence. But Victor used it to strengthen the illusion that something mysterious had happened with the security system. Later, when everyone discovered Marcus's body, Victor walked directly to the desk and hid the USB drive behind the drawer. His plan was simple. Let investigators suspect the wife, the angry business partner, the CFO connected to suspicious payments, the assistant about to be fired, or the journalist threatening Marcus's company. There were plenty of suspects, plenty of motives, and plenty of distractions. But Victor made one critical mistake. He knew too much. He knew the hallway camera could be disabled. He knew the electronic entry records could be erased. And before anyone checked Marcus's office after the blackout, Victor announced that the office lock had remained secure. He wasn't guessing. He knew. Because Victor Lane had been inside that locked room. And Marcus Vale had discovered exactly who betrayed him. Unfortunately, he discovered it just a few minutes too late. Case closed.